Hello again. So in the last video, we created this new stone veneer wall type. I'm going to go inside the house now, but I want to do that through the 3D view. So I'm just going to do a duplicate view here and create a plan. Oops, forgot to hit rename. Okay, plan oblique view. And I will associate this view with the first floor plan. So because I have this set up as a rendered view, I just wanted to show what the model looked like with the existing materials that we have. So the floor materials in Revit are extremely limited. We have oak floor, we have tile, and we have carpet. Woohoo! So I want to show you today how to create some floor materials that are a lot more common to use. And so one of them that I've found is difficult to find is a cork flooring. So I've already downloaded some image files to get myself ready. So this is what you would want to do first, is you want to go to some kind of browser, and then go to type in what it is you're looking for a material, and then go to images. And you're looking for straight on images like this one. All right, so this cork flooring image right here, or there's another one. You can download several if you're not sure which colors that you'd like to use. So there's tons of varieties of cork flooring. There's some that are in tile format, some that are in plank format. So that's entirely up to you, depending on what you're looking for a finished example of a rendered look. So I'm going to pick this one right here and click on it to make it as big as I can. And then when you click on it, make sure, do you see how it took a second for it to get to full resolution, and the image quality is pretty good? You can grab that image by right-clicking on it and hit Save Image As. And I would save it as a JPEG and just put it somewhere where you can find it later. So I'm just going to call this basic, dark cork floor tile. So I know what it is, okay? So that's it. That's all you have to do. Anytime you're looking for any kind of unique material, this is the way that you go about doing it. So I've basically done that for a whole bunch of materials that I have loaded within this modular 10. I've got a bunch of different materials. If I change my view options here so you can see them by, how do I change my view options? Oh, there we go. View, I want to see large icons. It shows you all the different image files I've just totally stolen off the internet to get. So you could make a tin ceiling. You could do shiplap. And so I just started to grab some things. There's a standing seam metal roof pattern. So you're going to want to collect these for each one of the pieces of this assignment. You're going and finding an image file that will work for you. And then we might try to find a pattern file too that works, so that we can actually see the pattern in our project. In some cases, we may not want a pattern to show up. In some cases, we might. And when I say pattern, it means that you have some kind of line pattern being represented when you view the model in a hidden line format rather than a rendered format. All right, so let's go back to Revit, and I'm going to select the floor here, and I'm just going to edit the type, duplicate it, and change this to cork tile for the finish. Now I can go into structure, and I want to change or swap out oak flooring for cork. And I'm going to see if we have cork. Oh, we do have cork tiles. You know what? I think we don't have cork tiles. I think I already made some cork tiles, and so I have a cork tile. But let's just see if this one comes up with yours. Great. If not, we're going to make our own. So let's try it a different way this time. We're going to start off with creating just a default material. So I'll go to default. And when you go to default or type default, you have all kinds of default materials to start with. Similar to families, you want to start with one that's appropriate for what you're making. So this is a default floor material. If I select this and I duplicate it, I'll call this dark cork tile. Okay, so I've got dark cork tile. Where did it go? Oh, it's because I have this in here. So let's now type in dark, and it should come right up. There it is. So there's a dark cork tile that I just created. And I want to start off by creating some kind of pattern to go for that cork tile. So it's a surface pattern that I want. And I believe I already have a tile pattern I can use for that. So I'm going to select pattern across underneath surface pattern for foreground. Go to the models instead of the drafting because I want to pick a 12-inch tile. There isn't an 18-inch tile or a 24, but we could create one by selecting it. So actually, let's pretend I want to make this an 18-inch tile. So I'm going to select that tile, and I'm going to duplicate it and change the name of it to 18-inch tile instead, and then change the line spacing to 18 inches. Whoops. I hit enter too quickly, and 18 inches. So now I have an 18-inch tile. And that pattern is going to show up for that particular cork tile. If we go into render appearance, I have a generic asset. So a generic asset, remember, just means that anything else that's called generic asset 9, anything else that has that same generic asset 9 in it will be affected. But I believe that every time you create a new default material, you get a new generic asset with a new number here so it doesn't duplicate. I don't want this to be called generic. I want this to be called cork tile dark. Or no, let's just change, actually better yet, I'm going to change this to 18-inch cork tile. So I'm being specific about the size of it. I could add any image I want here, so that's why you don't necessarily want to say what color image unless you want to create I guess you could create a new asset for every single variation of cork tile you decide to create. But there's a good place to start there. If we want to rename the file something else, or we can. What happened there? 18-inch cork tile. Maybe I had to hit enter. Enter. I might not be able to put in 18. There we go. It must be that I can't put in the inch mark. I didn't realize that, so I'm glad that I did that here. All right, so across from image, we want to load an image file. And as soon as you click on that blank screen right there, it allows you to load the image file. So I want that dark cork floor image file that we loaded earlier. And then I can click on the actual image. And I want to set the size of it to 1 foot 6 inches or 1.5 feet. There we go. And just hit done. And then apply that. And now let's go into, I guess we want to go into the view and see what that did to our floor. There it is. So we have our 18-inch cork tile now showing up on our floor. And when we look at it in a first floor plan where we're seeing it in a line drawing representation, we see that tile pattern showing up instead of the line pattern that we had for our oak flooring. So that's an example of how you can take image files that you steal from the internet and use them in Revit to create a unique material type. So you have a couple of other projects here that I've given you in the list of things to do. So you're going to create an interior wall with shiplap. You're going to create a deck floor with 5/4 by 6-inch composite decking. So you're going to need an image file of composite decking. You now know how to create the cork floor. You're going to create a tin ceiling, and then you're going to create a standing seam metal roof, because those are all things that I tend to wish that I had examples of instead of having to hunt for them and make them. So that's I tried to make this a list that I thought might be useful to you later on. And so in the next video, I'll show you how to create the railing systems. That might be a separate series of videos and give you some basics. So go ahead and take a look at the next video when you're ready.